So hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to learn French Revolution part 1 of French Revolution. Okay, so before starting the session, I would request everyone to please like, share and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get the notifications. Okay, so let us start. Now we are going to understand about the French society, right? The French society in late 18th century. So in 1774, Louis XVI, a person from a Bourbon family, ascended to the king of France, a throne of France. At the age of 20, he married an Austrian princess, Marie Antoinette. Let us understand the conditions of France when Louis XVI Louis XVI was ruling. Let us understand now. The financial resources of France were drained out because they helped 13 American colonies to gain independence from their common enemy, that is Britain. The war had also added the more than 2 billion levers of loan on them. So let me tell you who are they, right? So he is Louis 16, Louis 16, and this is Marie Antoinette. I'm writing Marie over here, right? So these are the two people who were ruling France that time. Okay, now also the as I told you in this slide, the financial resources. Now let us understand the financial resources of France. So high interest on the credit taken to France, taken to the finance war, cost of maintain extra virgin. Why we called it extra virgin? Because it was really big, right? Maintaining the army, courts, government offices, etc. were also costly affairs. Therefore, the government were forced to increase the taxes and meet the expenses, right? Increase the taxes and meet the expenses. Now, French society was divided into three estates. So, French society, a society of estates. First estate was clergy, second was nobility, and third estate were all the people, that is the common people. Here you will understand very clearly. First estate, that is priests, these were having more value in the society. Second estate was nobility, that means the kings and big landlords. And third estate were nothing but the common people. Common people. Now, very important thing about them, let me tell you, is that the first two estates, that is the clergy, nobility, first and second estate, were exempted from paying taxes. That means they didn't pay taxes. So left was which estate? Third estate, which paid taxes. They had to pay taxes. These were very having rich people, rich, and these third estate were poor people, and many taxes on them. So let us understand which all taxes and what all things were there. So society, the society of France, a society of estates were part of the feudal system, and peasants form of 90% of the population. Who were peasants? Peasants were third estate, right? And clergy and nobility also enjoyed certain privileges by birth, and they were exempted from paying taxes. Very important word. You can use this word in the examination also. Teacher will be impressed by this word. Very important word. Next point is church also to extracted taxes name as the tithes from the peasants, that is the third estate. And finally all the members of third estate had to pay taxes, that is tile, which was given to the state, right? So these all things were there. So before moving proceeding to the another thing, let us learn some words that are very important. First is the liver, which is the currency of France before 1794. Very important. This would be helping in your examination. Second is tithes, which was paid by the church, which was extracted by the from the by the church from this third estate, and it was one third, 1/10, sorry, 1/10 of the agricultural produce. APM agricultural produce. Third is tile, which was paid directly to the state. State taxes, I told you over here also. In the last slide, I told you state taxes. Right here you can see. Okay. So this was the situation. Now, how this people, that is the third estate, managed to live? Before going to before going, I would like to everyone to look on this diagram. Have a look on this diagram. You can see three people standing. Right over here, there is a wooden, or you can say a a rock, a big rock, right, which symbolizes the state taxes. State taxes. And here you can see a man with a red robe on him. So he is nothing but the second estate. Second estate. And over here you can see another man with a long frock type thing. So that is the first estate. First estate. And I would like to everyone to please just look over here on the man which is lying under the rock. All pressure, all the things of the state are on him. So he is nothing but the third estate. You can elaborate it and to write a better answer. Right? It is the third estate. So this is how the it worked. This is how it worked. This is a very beautiful diagram which shows up everything, so it can be asked in examination. Now coming back to our point, struggle for the survival. So population in France rapidly increased. What increased? Demand of food grains. Of course, if the population rises, the demand of food grain will rise, right? So increase in price of bread. Now one more thing added for this struggle to survival, increase in prices, and labor wages were fixed. That is not the problem. Income did not meet the expenses, gap between and rich and poor widened. Because of it, it is very easy points you can understand by while I'm saying it. So increasing bread prices would increase, but the fixed labor wages were there. To meet the expenses, they couldn't meet the expenses as they were did not had any money. So gap between the rich and poor widened. This is like a chain. It is like a chain. Just look in this slide, you'll understand it is like a chain. Hmm. Just take up the screenshot of this slide. I'll be moving on to the next one. Okay, so the situation became worse and the drought and hail occurred. It also led to the subsistence crisis. And what was subsistence crisis? Very important definition. Always usually asked for 2 marks. Usually asked for 1 mark in the examination, but very important definition. Definition says extreme situation when the basic means of livelihood are endangered. Basic means that is shelter, and what, clothes. When these are endangered, that means it is the subsistence crisis. Next slide. Now, growing middle class. Middle class means people from the middle. They were not really very rich, not really very poor, but they were educated, right? They were educated. So middle class people were basically in the 18th century. Just a minute, it there should be a gap between these two words, century and extreme. Okay, so emergence of middle class people, they earn the wealth through the trades, that is overseas trade and manufacturing good. Education and against the privileges, they were with education and against the privileges. With education against the privileges. The ideas of freedom and equality emerged. The ideas of freedom and equal laws of opportunity became a popular in the society. Philosophers such as Locke, so his full name is John Locke, Montesquieu, and Jane Jacob Rousseau. Jane Jacob Rousseau, you can write it. So this was how the French society was divided. I told you about the growing middle class people, right? So these were the philosophers, and what were the ideas? Let us understand their ideas. Okay. So the ideas of the philosopher, first philosopher was John Locke. Now, John Locke told in his book known as the Treatise of the Government, two treatises of the government, he denied the doctrine of divine and absolute right on monarch. He said that we don't want this monarchy, right? We don't want this monarch. In his book, two treatises of government, very important words I'm underlining, please go through it. Two treatises of government uh, denied the doctrine of divine, absolute right on monarch. Next point. What did Rousseau said now? Rousseau proposed forms of government based on the social contract between the people and the representative. People and representative में connection होना चाहिए. ये कहा रूसो ने. Let's move on to Montesquieu now. Montesquieu told in the Spirits of Laws that he said that division of power within the government and its legislation within three groups. I'm sorry, just it was a typing error. Here should be legislation, executive, and executive and judiciary. Right. So these three forms of government we have already learned. Then to have a clear idea. Moving on to this now. So these were the three philosophers. This is John Locke, government's power, and he people liberty. And you can write these points as well. These are also good points. If you have to write any short note on the philosophers, you may write this. Just take a quick screenshot of this, and I will be moving on to the next slide now. Okay, so spread of ideas now. The spread of ideas of this philosophers soon gain popularity among the common people. कॉमन पीपल के अमंगस्ट ये जो हमारी आइडिया है, ये यहाँ पे मेंशन की है, ये पॉपुलर होने लगी ना. अब ये पॉपुलर होने लगी जब लुइस 16 ने इम्पोज किया टैक्सेस को. And people showed their anger, protested against the privilege system. Privilege system यानी कि फर्स्ट एंड सेकेंड स्टेट को टैक्सेस नहीं देना है, और थर्ड स्टेट को पूरा टैक्सेस देना है. तो दिस privileges given to them, it is not good, right? So we'll do the extra questions now, and these questions are also known as the homework question. You have to type out your answers in the comment section below, and I would be just noticing your answer. Okay. First question is, the word liber stands for United Currency of France, a tax lived by the church, a tax paid directly to the state, or none of these. Take a screenshot of this question. Moving on to the next slide now. Second question, when was Louis XVI ascended the throne of France? A. 1773, B. 1774, C. 1775, D. 1776. This is every single question we have done. Third question, which country has implemented Montesquieu model of government? United States of America, United States of Arab, and China, C, and D, Saudi Arabia. Very good question. Now here we are to the end of the session. Please put your answers in the comment section below. Comment in below section that tell me your answers over there. I would be replying back to your answers. And also tell us about how you like the video, and please like, share, and subscribe to my channel, right, to get the quick notifications. Okay, so here we are coming to end of the session. Bye.